We have had a lot of our viewers ask us, why do we come to Portugal? So this is our personal story on why we come here.
And it's in no particular order of importance. It's just as we recall things.
Yes.
But first, Tina's got a new T-shirt.
I know. Look, Norm.
So you got that in Tavira, in Benetton of all places.
Oh, I've got a really fancy one now. Hey, Norm, I've even got the little motif on it.
Real designer stuff, Tina. So what do we think is point number one?
I think probably one of the biggest things is safety.
We really do feel safe in Portugal, and that's why we keep coming back. If you look at the World Index on Safety, Portugal used to be number 3. They have slipped to number 7, but we have never felt unsafe walking around either in Tavira or Albufeira or any other Algarve town.
No.
So safety and security features very high for us.
Yeah. And I think one thing we should mention too, Norm, is particularly in Tavira, because we felt we were there for the first 2 weeks, was we didn't notice hardly any police at all. In fact, when we did notice 2, it was such a shock to us, wasn't it? Because we actually hadn't seen any.
There's very few police. There's municipal police that we see, and then there's the gendarmerie, which is like the RCMP. And they're not intimidating like some countries.
No.
We can recall being in Spain or Mexico or even in the Republic of Panama with the police with submachine guns. The Portuguese police are just like the Canadian police. They have a firearm that's in their holster, and that's it. They're just not intimidating.
No, none of these big machine guns sort of hanging off the shoulders. So we definitely do feel very safe here in Portugal.
And somebody did mention that Portugal has increased their terrorism readiness just recently in October. And they were saying you might see police outside of government buildings. We haven't seen that at all.
No.
There's nothing.
No, there isn't, is there?
No police guarding tax offices or anything like that. So, the food.
Yum, yum.
We really do enjoy the Portuguese food.
Yes.
And we can't stress it enough. It's Portuguese.
Yeah.
It's totally unique. It's not Spanish. It's not French. It's
their own
totally unique.
It is. There's so many wonderful things, Norm, isn't there? Like we love the bacalhau salt cod dishes.
And they do that 3 or 4 different ways, with a cream sauce or with shredded potatoes.
Yeah.
So there are a number of ways that you can have that. There are other things like bifana sandwiches, which we've recently discovered, which is pork steaks thinly cut between rustic French bread that we had it. Oftentimes it can be in a roll as well, a bread roll.
That was delicious, yours, wasn't it?
It really was. And then there's things like francesinha, which is a big sandwich wrapped in cheese.
We actually haven't had that, have we yet?
We haven't.
No, that's on the list for us to get this time.
It kind of looked like a heart attack on a plate, but I'm sure it's very tasty.
And I think one of the things that we absolutely always love is the desserts, the pastel de natas, whether it's for breakfast with coffee or after dinner. They are just delicious and one of our favorites.
And on top of that, they have lots and lots of different types of pastries as well. So you're not going to go hungry, but you are going to have food you've never had before. And it's tasty, it's rustic, it's not pretentious. When you get a dish of the day, you get a big plate of food.
And I think even some of the simple things they do, like the soup of the day, we had that quite a few times in Tavira, and it was delicious. And you can get it from mom and pop little stores, or you can get it from the grocery stores in Continent. It's available everywhere and absolutely delicious too.
We found that in Tavira there was far more cafes, cafeteria style, where they're making homemade food.
Yeah.
There were no large chains of restaurants there, so you could have typically Portuguese food quite easily, quite cheaply. They had the dish of the day. We did find a barbecue chicken place that did a soup of the day, and for $1, what?
$1.90, yeah, 190 euros.
We got a takeout because there wasn't a sit-in area, but it was a good-sized portion that fed both of us, and
It was delicious, wasn't it?
and it was homemade. It had vegetables. Because staying in the hotel, we were just yearning for vegetables.
That's a crazy thing to be yearning for, hey?
It's the one thing that Portuguese dish of the days don't come with, is really vegetables. The other thing that's totally unique is the alcohol. They have their own liquor. We call it birrio, which is wrong.
But it's absolutely delicious, and it's one of our favourite liqueurs here, which we've already sampled some, haven't we, Norm?
That's right. And we just noticed for the first time that they're doing a version of Bailey's, but it's based around a pastel de nata flavour in a cream. So we're going to try that. I think it's called number 34.
Something like that, isn't it? So that's on our list to try too. And again, that introduces into that culture, Norm, of where you can just sit out in the evening and have coffee and brandy or coffee and liqueur.
Yep.
And for us coming from Canada, sat out in the evening at 8 or 9 o'clock is wonderful.
It was perfect, really. Especially, and it's January.
Yes.
So it's sat outside. And then there's lots of other liqueurs that they have, which is like the sour cherry one, which we get in Lisbon from the inventor of it up there. So what's another point, Tane?
I think one of the things that's really important has to be the climate, Norm.
That's pretty much the number one reason we come here.
Yes. And I think a big part of it is that coming from Canada, it's not a brutal shock into immersing into really hot weather. It's almost as if you're moving into springtime weather, don't you think?
It really does, Tina. We sort of average the temperatures, even since we've been here, between about 14 to 20 degrees is a good average. And so it's not overpoweringly hot, but it's just very pleasant. It does cool down in the evening, though.
So you do really need a sweater in the evening. But during the day, the temperatures are so nice that we've been wandering around with shorts and T-shirts, which is really nice.
It is the rainy season as well, so you are going to experience some rain.
Yeah.
Since we've been in Albufeira, we've just had a few sprinkles for about half an hour or so, and then it dries up. But so far we haven't had a day where it's rained and we are unable to do anything.
Another advantage too is that we have found out that the hotel we're now in has umbrellas, so that's a big plus. If it does rain, we've got umbrellas.
It is. Plus, the advantage of this hotel over the one that we had in Tavira is they have a lot of public rooms. So here we are, we're sat in a beautiful lounge area. And
very nice, isn't it? Hey?
It is. Whereas in Tavira, the Hotel Maris, I didn't have any public space other than the breakfast room, which was closed from 10 o'clock onwards.
So that's quite a big plus for an apart hotel like this, isn't it, Norm?
It is.
Is that, say, when they're cleaning the room, you can come down here and just sit and hang out if the weather's not nice, or which is, you know, a big plus.
And moving on from the weather, transport and getting here. We're very fortunate that we have a direct flight from Toronto to Faro, and Faro is the main airport in the Algarve. And our flight this time was just 6.5 hours, which was super speedy.
Yeah, it was really quick. And another big plus, Norm, too, I think, is with arriving to Faro is it's a lot smaller airport than, say, Lisbon is. So the actual time of when you land, get off the plane and go through security and everything is a lot quicker than if you would be in a larger airport like Lisbon. It was really fast for us, wasn't it?
Even lining up for the passport control,
Yeah.
I think we were out of the airport in 15 or 20 minutes.
It was really very quick, wasn't it?
And we had arranged a transfer, so our driver was at the airport well in time. So literally, we probably got to our hotel just before 9 o'clock, and we had landed around 8 o'clock.
Yeah, so very smooth, wasn't it? And we weren't asked a lot of questions when we came through, were we?
No. And for most of the Algarve, the places where you're going, the transfer is probably the longest going to be an hour. Most are going to be around 40 minutes. There are buses that you can do. We just find it more relaxing to actually have a car waiting for us there. And it was only about $40.
Yeah, it worked very smoothly. And also we decided that obviously because we had to then get from Tavira to Albufeira, and we did look at the train and bus and we thought, no, let's just book a transfer. So it actually was quite a long journey. It was about 50 minutes coming here.
It was.
But we booked a transfer and we ended up with a really nice like Mercedes minivan, didn't we?
And they did transfer from hotel door to hotel door. So it was
great.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Very, very good driver as well, very smooth. And that cost us $70. If we'd taken a traditional taxi, it would have been about $100.
Yeah. Because I guess the difference between the taxi is that they charge you by the kilometre, so it's the clock is on. Whereas if you book a set amount, then you pay that fixed fee. So we tend to do that, don't we? We
do indeed.
Yeah.
So this is our fourth time in winter in the Algarve. We've also been to Porto, Lisbon. We've done Fátima.
Yeah, Cascais.
Yeah.
So that was lovely too.
So we're very used to it. We like the architecture. We like the history. The food's amazing. The people are very friendly. And it just seems to be the perfect place for us.
Yeah.
If you want a beach vacation in the wintertime, then it's not warm enough for that.
No.
But one of the reasons we choose Albufeira, and bearing in mind this time we tried Tavira, the major difference is the ocean.
And it's, you know what, when we arrived here, didn't we, on the Saturday? So the next day we did our first walk down onto the beach. And we were just walking around a few roads, and as we got here and we stopped and the two of us looked and saw the ocean, looked at each other and said, this is what we come for. It was just beautiful.
For us, it beats a river town like Tavira, because there's just something about the ocean, the waves crashing, the salt spray in the air. And we were able to walk 2 miles on that beach.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
And
it just
great. Fills you full of joy.
Yeah, I think that's one of the things, Norm, is that it enhances the senses, doesn't it?
It really does.
You're looking at the ocean and you're smelling the seawater and you're walking on the beach. For us, that is a huge plus that I think possibly maybe wins over Tavira for me, I think.
And also this thing about restaurants closing at 3 in the afternoon and then reopening at 6 or 6:30 or 7. You can get around that in Albufeira because there are fast food restaurants. If you're that desperate, you can get a pizza. You can get KFC. You can get McDonald's. It wouldn't be our first choice, but if we were really hungry, we would. But that's why we choose an apartment hotel, because we get all the facilities of the hotel, the swimming pool, the security, the public areas, but we can also cook our own food.
And also we just had our first quick visit into Pingo Doce yesterday, didn't we, Norm? And the cafeteria has all been changed. It's quite new here, but we did notice that they had 7 different dishes, one menu, one dish of the day, each day of the week.
Right.
And it looks like they have a fantastic meal on a Saturday of salmon in puff pastry. So I think we might be testing that out. Hey, Nom?
And the prices are very competitive. They start around, at the moment they're on sale, so they're starting around €4.80 for a main course, and you get either a soup or a dessert and a drink with it.
And a coffee. Which we think is fantastic value. Also, they are still doing the pizzas there too.
Yep.
So for $4.99, we could get a complete pizza, all cooked, that we can just bring back to our apartment.
And we're just a five-minute walk away from that. And also Continent, we're a 2 or 3 minute walk away from that.
So we'll definitely be using those, won't we?
All that we would say is Portugal does suit us for the winter time.
Yes.
We know the area, so there's a comfort level. The security, we feel very secure here, whereas in comparison, Tina was just saying before we filmed this, that Myrtle Beach, we didn't feel safe.
No, we didn't. We didn't feel that it was okay for us to go out in the evening there, did we?
No. And we were going out in the evening in Tavira, photographing the Christmas lights.
Yes,
and
we were.
Having
and we
our
felt great there,
coffee
didn't we?
and brandy.
Yeah.
And I'm sure we'll be doing that in Albufeira too. So we hope that everybody's keeping well.
And staying safe.
And until the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.